start in the US, where Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail following his conviction for prostitution-related offences. The decision means he will have to remain in jail until the date of his sentencing, which the judge has proposed as the 3rd of October. He was cleared of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. But in denying bail, the New York judge observed that there was ample evidence that he had committed violent acts and could pose a danger to the public if released. His defence lawyers claim victory after Mr. Combs was acquitted of the most serious charges, racketeering and sex trafficking.
Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. I've been saying this for months. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true.
Today is a major win to show what the system can do. We appreciate and we're so thankful to the jury.
Well, our North America correspondent, Nomia Iqbal, was following this case. She sent the update from outside the courthouse in New York.
The actual bail hearing is just wrapped up. The judge had decided that Sean Diddy Combs would not be released from bail, citing the defence's own statements in his closing arguments about concerns regarding his violent behavior, which they conceded that he did have, and potential concerns around intimidation. But his lawyer, his lead lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, has been making this really extraordinary, passionate argument saying that his client should be released, especially given that he's been in jail since last September and that he's been cleared of the more serious charges. I'm just looking at it now, and he said that Combs had not gotten to any fights in jail and was on his best behavior despite being in a difficult part of this facility in Brooklyn. At one point, he even tried to get Sean Combs to speak, but he didn't do so in the end. You know, some mixed emotions for Sean Combs' family. They were on a high, they were celebrating after this victory for him this morning, and they were hoping that he would come home. His family had put forward a $1 million bond to secure his release, but he will not be released. He will stay in jail until his sentencing in October.
Nomia Iqbal there at the courthouse in New York. Well, let's get some reaction to all of this from Nima Rahmani. He's a former federal prosecutor and the president of the West Coast Trial Lawyers. Hello to you. Were you surprised he was not granted bail?
Sally, I was surprised. I was not surprised at the jury verdict. But after Combs was acquitted of all but the least serious charges of prostitution, I thought Judge Subramanian would release him. Let's be honest, no prosecutor would prosecute Combs for just prostitution. But even if they did, no judge would detain him for such a minor offense. The judge was considering some of the conduct that came in. And look, I'm a former prosecutor and I'm a victims' rights lawyer. And I believe the victims, but I'm a bigger believer in our jury system. Verdict means to speak the truth. The jury has spoken. Sean Combs is not a sex trafficker. He is not a racketeer. He should have been released on bail. And Mark Agnifilo, the defense attorney, said that he's not done fighting. I think that means he's going to appeal that detention order to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and I wouldn't be surprised if an appellate panel reverses that detention order and Sean Combs is released before that October sentencing.
So you argue then that transportation to engage in prostitution is a minor offence?
It absolutely is a minor offense. I put more than 1,000 people in federal prison, and I never once prosecuted the Mann Act. I think even the prosecutors in this case consider it a complete and total loss. And what they're trying to do now is backdoor some of that evidence of force or coercion. That is completely inconsistent with the jury's verdict in this case, unanimous on both of those counts, that he didn't traffic Cassie, he didn't traffic Jane, and he didn't engage in any of that racketeering activity. Arson, bribery, kidnapping, extortion. Again, the jury has spoken. It's time for prosecutors to take their loss and move on.
So what do you think the sentence will be then?
I think the sentence will probably be something close to time served, maybe some time over. If you're looking at just prostitution...
So not 10 years? Because it could be a maximum of 10 years in prison.
That's the maximum sentence, and everyone's talking about that, but you can throw that out the window. When it comes to federal sentences in the United States, the judges consider the federal sentencing guidelines. And under those sentencing guidelines, if you're just looking at prostitution, Combs is looking at a range of 21 to 27 months in jail. Of course, he gets credit for the time he's already served and good time credits. Now, what the prosecution is trying to do is to add coercion, trying to add force to get that range to closer to 4 to 5 years. I don't think it's the just result after the jury verdicts today.
How long has he been behind bars so far? Do you know, sorry, off the top of your head?
Yes, I do. He was arrested in September, so he's been in custody since that time. So that's approximately 10 months credit for time served.
And if he stays in jail, obviously up to sentencing, that's another potentially 6 months, isn't it? So you add it all
That
up.
is.
Nima,
So
thank you for your... Yeah, go on. Sorry, final comment, just briefly.
Of course, potentially just time served or something slightly longer than that after that October 3rd sentencing. That's my prediction.
Nima Rahmani, thank you for your time. Interesting to get your take on that case and the outcome, of course. And you can hear more reaction to the verdict on the podcast Diddy on Trial, which is available on BBC Sounds.